Oh, that's neat. Hey, hey. Hello. Welcome to WyzGyzEntertainment. This is your host, Wyman. I'm just doing something very random. I just figured it might be fun to do a survey. Like many people, I tend to get sucked into doing surveys, partially because of the remote chance you might be heard, and partially there's actually a little bit of a fun factor. Let me see if I can share this here. Share screen. See if I can find it easily. Dancing, this machine. Oh baby, do it, babe. She's dance, this machine. Watch it get down, watch it get down. This machine. Wait, what's that? No. Oh man, I meant to share this. I meant to share this before I went live. Then I forgot. Where is it? Nope. It's probably around here somewhere. Oh, come on. There's that. Man, where did it go? Why is it not? So it's called. Oh, all right. Oh, it's this. All right. All right. So it seems they're wanting feedback on YouTube and how you feel about how it's doing regarding policies and creating content and providing content and managing and working content. And so I thought it might be fun to work on this. I don't think it says it's going to be like 15 minutes, up to 15 minutes long to do the survey. So in the process of doing this, or maybe even shortly after I post this stream, YouTube might take down my channel. So hopefully they don't do it before I get a chance to get around to backing it up. So, but then if they tried something like that, that would mean that they're afraid of what people think about them. But then a lot of companies, you'll find that a lot of companies, even big corporations, are afraid to hear the truth. You know, you tell the truth and then you get laid off, you know. That's why they have things like whistleblower policies to try and protect the little guy. So anyway, I already started on this before it dawned on me, maybe make a stream about this. So I already started on this, but then let me see. Then then I got sidetracked, and then I came back. So there's a chance that this is going to time out on me. So I've been copying my text. I'm like about 4 pages in on the survey, so it's still probably in the beginning if the survey is supposed to take about 15 minutes. So they were asking about, what's your overall feeling about YouTube and content that's provided and how they, all the stuff I mentioned earlier. So it had freeform text fields, which I appreciate. And to the best of my knowledge, it doesn't seem like they're capping you out at a certain number of characters, which I also appreciate. Because sometimes it's hard for me to encapsulate things, make things succinct. I'm very verbose. There's no surprise there. But my comments included YouTube doesn't seem to care about the smaller creators, and it seems instead more interested in Hollywood. I'm more interested in the fresh content, not the old garbage out of Hollywood. Small creators see very little growth, and that bugs me. The smaller creators' content is at least 90% better than Hollywood, so I watch it. Let me jump back to this one real quick. Whoa, shoot. Cobraman 99, Candace. Who's Candace? It depends on what Candace you're talking about. Are you talking about a fellow Twitch channel? Candace. I'm not aware of what. No Candaces come to mind when I think of Twitch. So I think people will find that I'm more or less echoing a lot of what people's feelings and concerns about YouTube are anyway. So, hey, Genuine Comics, how's it going? YouTube festers free thinkers. Yeah, I agree. That's true. Let me see here. So then I went to, that's why I like to participate in YouTube surveys, just to say, hey, you're going to screw around with my channel as it is, so I might as well give you some feedback on that. So this is in response to YouTube's policies. And you'll also find that sometimes when I complete surveys, I'll sometimes add stuff that's not pertaining to their specific question, because you never know when they're going to either provide you freeform text to explain, or when they're not, and they're just going to go, all right, give us A, B, C, or D, and not allow you to expound on that. So they're referring to examples like community guidelines, advertiser-friendly guidelines, copyright age restriction. How fairly or unfairly does YouTube apply its policies? I said extremely unfairly. How helpful is YouTube when you have questions about YouTube policies? Not helpful at all. It's hard. It's really hard as heck to, at least in my experience and opinion, it's very difficult actually being able to reach anyone. I mean, they're a huge company, but they've also got a huge number of employees. So somewhere in there should be like a support team to handle all these inquiries. Although, I don't know. What do I know? How easy or difficult is it to understand YouTube's policies? For me, it's extremely difficult because they're constantly changing the goalposts. And they're selective in what rules they enforce with creators. Some creators, they'll go, all right, this is okay. Other creators will go, nope, that's against policy. How protected do you feel by YouTube's policies? Not at all protected. It's that feeling of dread where you're creating content, you're giving their other partners and advertisers opportunities to advertise on your content that you spent blood, sweat, and tears putting into it, only to realize nothing. And with that feeling of dread where at any moment you do the wrong thing in their opinion, and wrong is very subjective. You don't know what it means uh, because YouTube's flip-flopping all the time. So there's this feeling like your channel can get axed at any minute, and then once it's axed, it historically speaking is very hard to restore. And by then, if your channel's axed, then you lose all those subs. You lose. There's that whole period where you're, I guess, you're trying to. What is the word I'm looking for? Appeal. You're trying to appeal it, and is you're unable to. Well, if your appeal fails, then you're literally creating a brand new channel from scratch. If you got the energy to do it, and if you happen to be monetized, even worse, then YouTube's got all your money hostage, and it's a crapshoot as to whether you'll ever be able to get to it. I think there's something like, I think it's set up like Twitch where you have to intentionally, well, I don't know if they allow direct deposit where the money instantly gets transferred from YouTube to, oh wait, no. It gets paid out to you every month, I think. I think people are saying it gets paid to you every month, once a month. So you could potentially lose at least 1 month's worth of earnings. Let's see here. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with the options to resolve issues with policies and guidelines? In my view, it's very dissatisfied because you're like, sometimes you'll get an appeal button and other times you won't. And then if you get something called, what is it? A community guidelines strike. From my experience, that's a permanent thing because I still haven't found any way to clear it. And nobody's willing to give me an explanation as to what did it, why they think it's justified. How confident are you that you can avoid policy violations on your content? I say, you know what? Avoid policy violations. Well, I said slightly confident because, I know some general guidelines on what to stay away from. But then because Google seems to be running everything on autopilot through their algorithm and their bots, people are getting struck wrongly. People are getting unsubbed to channels they've been subbed to for years, and all kinds of suspicious stuff is going on. So that's why I have concerns and questions. How likely or unlikely is YouTube to correct policy mistake if you appeal? Very unlikely. I think in 19, 20, nearly 2 years, out of several strikes, I think only a couple of them were successfully appealed. Let's see. So I put in the optional field, tell us more about your experience regarding YouTube's policies. YouTube's algorithm and bot false flagging is rampant. You frequently break your own rules to allow big traffic content creators to get away with stuff smaller creators can't do. Smaller creators do their best to follow your rules, but you keep changing the rules. Keep changing the goalposts. YouTube doesn't seem to have any morals because YouTube and its advertisers can profit from creators' content, even if they are not a partner and aren't earning a penny. So this leads people to believe that the entire YouTube platform is not family friendly, any of it. Because if YouTube can't be trusted to be honest and truthful and to follow their own policies, how are we to believe that and trust that they're going to prevent Viagra and condom and mature ads How are we to believe and trust that they're going to prevent those types of ads? Poor grammar, from being played on our K through 12 channels. Let's back this up in case the page times out on me. Oh, all right. This looks like a more stable survey platform. There are some survey platforms where a certain amount of time passes and then it blows away your thing. You got strikes for what? I don't know what it is. They call it a community guideline strike, but it's unclear as to the reason or what caused it on my channel. But it's been there for months, and I've tried to respond to it. I've asked, I think, is it called YouTube support? Something like that. And they won't give me an explanation or send me an email saying, hey, here's what's going on, and here's why we're not going to remove it. It's not the same as the other type of strike. I don't think it's a copyright strike. There are copyright claims. You can appeal a copyright claim, but there's some other kind of strike that is supposed to be like you did a hard violation against one of our policies, and if you get 3 strikes, you're out, and they take down your channel. So I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Let me see what they call it or how they describe it. Channel violations. Active community guideline strikes. So all right, so they call it a warning, not a strike. So maybe that's not as bad. Maybe there is a differentiating factor there. So it's called an active community guideline strike warning. Let's see, warning. Your content was, oh wait, hold on. Oh, it did mention it. All right. I forgot about that. Your content was removed due to a violation of our community guidelines. Because it's the first time, your account isn't affected. You're only warned once, and this warning will remain on your channel. If this happens again, your channel will get a community guideline strike. All right, so I got a warning. You won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for a week. If content removed, if you think we made a mistake, you can appeal this decision. So August 27th of last year, 2020. So I did this. I did like a partial watch along. I started hearing a lot of creators saying, you know, don't be doing watch alongs because they're going to, the bots and the algorithms are false flagging and taking people down. So don't take the chance, but I decided to anyway. But what I did instead was, I think I had either a screenshot of like the cover title, and then I was watching it on my own screen, but not broadcasting it. And it was like I was watching it, so it was in the back room, in the green room, and I was watching this thing, an old movie from 2015, like a biography, or what's the other term? Where they're just like teaching you stuff about an individual. It was called Steve Jobs, The Man in the Machine from 2015. So I also thought maybe it would fly because it's from 2015. And we're what, 2021. Is that 20 years? So anyway, I was playing it to myself, and I had a headphone, earbud, whatever, in my ear while I was watching it, and I was like commentating. And so it was basically a picture of myself only. And then every 15 to 30 minutes, I would temporarily show it on screen for, I was trying to keep it down to 15 seconds at a time. And then I'd hide it again. You know, you can hide it so it's back in the green room, kind of like you do with people, you know, guests on your panel. And then another 15 or so of commentating continues. And then I make it viewable again so you could see roughly, since I didn't have any kind of timer displayed on screen showing what the timestamp was during the movie, I would show like part of a scene, 10, 15 seconds to give you the gist of where in the movie I am, if you'd seen it before. So yeah, that's what it was for. So they gave me that information, and so I went to what's this? Okay, so this is still listed as a warning. If I get a strike, excuse me, I won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for a week. So I think that same day or the following day, I got wind of it because it puts it right there on your YouTube studio. So it grabs your attention. It's like the first thing on the list. So I appealed it, and I explained, oh, shoot. I thought I got this thing. I explained why I felt I was justified and was within the rules, you know, where you don't display more than 15 seconds of video content. I'm not even sure if I had the audio enabled on the movie. I think I was just showing the video. I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch it. But anyway, I appealed it, and then like 1 or 2 seconds later, my appeal was rejected. So that's why I strongly feel that this was a bot that did it. And I tried to explain it over Twitter with YouTube that it was probably a bot. Oh, hey, effing book. I was hanging out on your channel, watching your various videos and sharing it to Twitter. Some of those are pretty funny. Every thought, impulse, and statement is evaluated. It seems that way. And I think it's the algorithm combined with the bots, the way they're programmed. We've got the following questions relate to communications from YouTube. For example, emails, information on studio dashboard, workshops. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with the timeliness of YouTube's communications to you? I'll say somewhat dissatisfied. I mean, it's not like I want to get bombarded with messages, but if they would give us more warning, explaining their reasoning behind all these frequent policy changes, then it might make more sense. It might be more understandable. The thing that they seem to be doing right is on YouTube Studio, it seems like they have these people who work for them, I guess, give you like little tutorial videos saying, hey, here's, did you know about this feature? Here, let us show you how to use it. That seems to be the only thing, or one of the few things they're doing right that I try and pay attention to. How often does YouTube use your preferred channel, for example, email or studio, to communicate with you? I'll say sometimes, because my preferred channel in this case is YouTube. Twitter is secondary. How easy or difficult? Oh, wait, hold on. How often does YouTube use it to communicate? I mean, it's more than rarely, but it's less than sometimes. Excuse me. But you're not going to be able to select more than one. How easy or difficult is it to find information that is important to you as a YouTube creator? It seems to be buried in articles. And even when you read the articles, it often isn't enough to answer your question. So you have to go to like forums or ask other YouTubers out there to understand what's going on. So I don't know if it's so much extremely. I mean, there are resources out there. So for me, it's quite difficult. And maybe I'm lame. How useful are communications from YouTube in helping you manage your channel? Manage. Like I said, it's got like mini tutorial videos on your dashboard that teach you about certain features. Every now and again, I think I get an email that highlights a certain function too. But usually it doesn't apply to anything I'm doing. Oh. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Hey, Daniel, how's it going? I used to pay YouTube and it was great, but then they got into data gathering and info gathering, so I left and cut off the funds. They're too pushy, too grabby and demanding. It's always more. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, they were pretty awesome. They were like the greatest thing since sliced bread. The early days of YouTube were so cool. There were all kinds of awesome, hilarious channels. And when I say it's early years, it might have been even better before then, but when I got into YouTube was back in late 2019. And that's when it was a really fun time for me. And when I had a blast. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the big companies are like that now. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, eBay, Apple. Oh, you know something really crazy? So I went to send a DM to someone I know in Twitter who I've corresponded a while with. I compose a message and and then I go ahead and send it, right? It's a DM in Twitter. Believe it or not, I kid you not, I got a partial screenshot, but it added an advertisement in there. I was like, what the hell? And it was for something I'd never heard of, some product I'd never heard of from some website I'd never heard of. So I immediately deleted because I don't want the person I'm chatting with to be bothered with any kind of advertisements that, especially anything that doesn't pertain to us in our conversation. Well, I don't want any ads in any DMs. So I delete it, and then I think before I deleted it, I might have copied and pasted just the chunk of text that I was sending in my message. And then I send it again, and boom, there's an advertisement. So I do another paste, and I'm still composing, right? So I look through my text and figure out where in here did I try to advertise this product, and nothing in there. So then, but then what I did notice is somehow there was this little portion of HTTP colon embedded somewhere in my text. I don't know how it got there, but I never included it. So I backspaced over it and then sent it. And that time it went successfully without any ad. I think Twitter's up to something. I think they've got some things in the cahoots. I think that's part of their initiative to find ways to charge people. And if they can infuse advertisements and everything, then there's a certain amount of the population who are going to be willing to pay to get rid of the ads. I was thinking of doing a stream or just a Twitter thread on that. That's pretty bad. That sucks. Good. Busy studying the Udemy course. Cool. And annoyed at identitarian conservatives that can't even conserve 1A. Brandy Love and TPUSA. Huh. So they're being hypocrites and going against freedom of speech. Is that what's going on? I got YouTube Red for Cobra Kai, paid and no ads, and all as well. I would even super chat a lot. Then they froze my screen and demanded my phone number, so I cut it off and will never go back. Oh yeah, everyone's using give us your phone number as second method of communication, or another way to better secure your account. I mean, in one way, I like that feature because I find it more convenient than going into my email. As crazy as that sounds, for verification, but yeah, I can see that. Embedded HTTP code, I think so, because my message to my friend did not include any web address. It just appeared. It was bad. And what it does is it tacks it onto the top of your, like when I'm texting. Oh, hold on, no. When I was tweeting, I was using the Twitter app to send a message, and so it appends it to the very top of your message. So it's the first thing your recipient sees. Well, they kicked her out, claiming it was a child's event, but it wasn't. There was a bar and adults, and some are claiming it's not cancel culture. Nonsense. Oh, jeez. Oh, this is stupid. Yeah, because if it's for children, then you shouldn't have a bar. It sounds like a scene from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where the baby's smoking a stogie and he's really an adult. Yeah. It's bad. And I think Twitter's just going to get worse. So I am working on, I might switch to this other site I heard about called Getter, Gettr, which is like a Twitter equivalent. But I got to see how many people are willing to move to another platform like that. I think everyone's, I think the trend is going to be everyone's going to gradually migrate to these other platforms and eventually leave Twitter behind. I don't know about YouTube. That's going to take a lot of effort, a lot more effort, I think. YouTube's going to be hard. I can see it already. But there are other places. I think Rumble is the YouTube equivalent that I heard of. But it's going to take some heavy hitters, some huge creators to make people want to switch. All right, so let's see. Okay. How useful are communications from YouTube in helping manage your channel? I'll say slightly. How do you rate your agreement or disagreement? YouTube celebrates important creator achievements. Slightly just. Huh. I slightly disagree. I mean, you get a plaque at, I think, 1,000 subs, and the next one at either 50,000 or 100,000 subs, and another one at 1 million subs. But as I understand it, it takes forever for them to send it to you once they've acknowledged you hit that milestone. And in a way, even if it's through an email or something, it would be nice if you get something for hitting maybe 500 subs, 1,500 subs, incremental ones. Like, they could be a stupid automated email. Well, I don't know. I can't speak to that because maybe they have that and I just haven't gotten to it. Because I am at, I meant to mention at the beginning of my stream, I am at 370 subs now. So that's pretty sweet. I was at, wait, is that right? No, 374. I was at 369. I'm at 374. That's 5 more subs. And I think that's, I could be wrong, but I think that's the result of my doing a shameless plug super chat on EBS's show. So I think I got 5 subs as a result of that. I was begging for a sub. I said, I've got 369. Can I get to 370? Yeah. I don't know if you want me to reveal your name, but I got kind of a informal super chat for $3. Let me see if there's a description, like something they wanted shouted out. Payment from, oh, no, that's not it. That's, it's just saying who it's from. All right. So I don't want to reveal, I don't want to dox anyone. So I thank you so much for the $3. That's sweet. I appreciate it. Let's see here. How helpful are, yeah, if you send an informal super chat and I don't know how much room they give you to actually write something, but if you're able to squeeze in a message for me to read, I'd be happy to read it out within reason. if the one who sends it is anti-CG, I'm going to reserve discretion. All right. So how helpful are YouTube's creator educational efforts for you? Courses or workshops? I'm going to say slightly. And I will add a little something because I should point out how do they describe it? Educational efforts. I do one area where I do think you're doing something right is on the dashboard where you were highlighting a topic workshop on how to perform a certain function or use a certain feature for your channel. Yeah, I mean, every now and then, also, well, hold on. YouTube, this is regarding YouTube communications. I wish when you issue a warning or strike that you would. Oh, hold on. My phone's not charging on the Z stand or QI set. All right, I didn't have it set stable. That's why. Would be elaborate and communicate more often how it violated the policy. Community guide. I always did my best to show no more than 15 seconds of video. My intent to serve video time stamp since I was watching the movie itself solo. On the dot, life goes on. Hey, na 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 na, life goes on. The following questions relate to your ability to reach an audience on YouTube. For example, your video is being recommended on homepage, suggested, or up next. How easy or difficult is it for viewers to find your videos on YouTube? Speaking only for myself and because I'm a small creator, and because I know a big chunk of this is because I don't consistently release content. But even when I was live streaming most of the day and doing videos now and again, and doing like 6 or 8 hours of all right. That was just a reminder to update my other browser. Yeah, I mean, even when I was really going full bore into it, it wasn't it was challenging getting an audience because they were doing the bigger promotion for the big channels, which I kind of understand. I understand the reasoning for that, but it makes it very hard for all the smaller creators to find an audience. How difficult? Oh, and nowadays, at least within the last year, they're even going harder into trying to woo Hollywood. Actually, since the pandemic, I guess. Maybe before that, but it seems more visible and evident that they're doing everything they can to get Hollywood to push, to create content on their channel. So I think that is causing things to be even harder for smaller channels because they're giving all of them in Hollywood more visibility. How difficult does competition from other channels make it to build an audience on YouTube? Competition from other channels. All in all, it's pretty difficult. I mean, I don't have issues with my fellow creators who are like in Comicsgate and Fan, kind of in the same boat. But when they become popular, I get really happy for them. And eventually, assuming, given YouTube doesn't ban me or destroy my channel, eventually I figure I'll reach the level where I'll be eligible for monetization. But until then, I can't count my chickens before they're hatched. By the way, WyzGyz, what do you think? Because I'm a developer, and the sad thing I find is a lot of the UI of alternative media, not all, some are really great, is really poor or a knockoff of Twitter. What do I think of alternative media? So far, I think it's decent. I haven't spent a whole lot of time on there, unfortunately, but I want to, kind of out of necessity, because I'm going to need backups for YouTube and Twitter. But a lot of those alternative platforms don't yet have the huge following that the current giants have. Generally speaking, the UIs look familiar enough to get used to it. But what bugs me is, well, no. I guess not really bugs me, but Parler had issues competing with Twitter because big tech got in the way in censorship and with the power of Apple and Apple and their App Store and Google and the, what do they call the Google Store? Flow, Go. I don't remember. Google has its own version of App Store, but they gate kept Parler and took them off their store momentarily or hid them or something until they would comply with their demands and include more censorship. So I hate when that happens, but that wasn't Parler's fault. Parler was exercising their 1A amendment rights. At least that's how I view it. Do you think there's a demand for better UI, UX developers, and there's a shortage amongst conservatives? Because it annoys me when someone announces new platforms / streaming and the feel is bad. Yeah, I think you're always going to need better UI. Microsoft's pretty bad at UI, and they always have been. That's why they had to copy Apple. But every now and again, Apple has some screw ups. Like one of the things that Windows still does that I wish Apple would go back to, and there might be like an app extension or something you can install for Mac. But, and I understand why Apple did it, but I think it's annoying. Let's say you're in a text document and you want to save it. What happens on the Mac OS now is you go File Save or Command S, which is like Control S on Windows, and you get a browsing window, right, to decide where you want to save it to. Well, on the Mac, it embeds the Save To window in the title bar area above your document. So let's say you compose something like a note or some information, and then you step away, you get sidetracked doing something else. Then you come back and then you go, oh, I need to save this. So you go File Save, and then it brings up the Save To field window where you can browse your hard drive and decide where you want to save it to. Well, it's locked in there. Let's say you forget the contents of the document you're saving. It won't let you switch back and find it unless you hit cancel. Whereas on Windows and the way Mac used to do it, the thing was independent. So it was a free floating window. So you can move it aside and say, all right, so briskly read what you were writing about. Maybe you're doing a short story and you need to save it, but you want to give it a new name or something. But you forget what story you're working on. Like for those who are constantly taking notes, constantly writing down notes, writing stories, then it, it's annoying. And I don't know if this is so much a UI thing than it is needing better logo design or icon design. But you look at some of these, right? So you open up a program, it's going to have like a thumbnail of whatever program it is you're running. Sometimes you look at an icon and you can't tell it from anything. Either it looks too similar to something else, or you don't know what on earth it's supposed to be. I think it's more, I guess, a design issue from the software developers end, where they aren't creative enough or don't know how to create a meaningful, impactful logo or thumbnail. Because if you've got, let's see, there's some thumbnails and apps that make sense and that make you think of the program you're using. There's a logo for BattleNet, which is kind of unusual. It's like a bunch of, if you were to take the Nike swoosh and double it, put one of them further in the background, but make the origin of the swoosh, the long endpoint meet up with the long endpoint of the swoosh on the second swoosh, and then you duplicate that 2 more times and then form it in the shape of kind of a rounded triangle. That's the Blizzard BattleNet logo. And even though it took a short time to associate BattleNet with this icon, it makes sense to me. So whenever I go Many years later, after not using playing Blizzard games, um, I still recognize BattleNet. Another theory I have is neat. Oh yeah, and thanks to Facebook, Google, Twitter, and YouTube, they're constantly censoring conservatives and centrists and libertarians and anyone who disagrees or has some legit criticism against left-leaning sources. Excuse me. Well, imagine being censored, then what extremely difficult. Yeah, exactly. The user interface, user experience specifically. Yeah, I think with anything, you need good UI. That's what attracted me and drew me to Apple. I've been using Windows and Mac PCs since for 28 years. So I started when the Apple IIc came out, and I was using it for Oregon Trail in school. And on the PC side, I started on the X286 processor. So yeah, I think pretty interfaces, nice graphics, smooth imagery with less or no jaggies is important. I like a clean interface. Not everything has to look like water or glass, but it's cool when it does. I don't like when software programs and such use the old green text on black background, like they show in a lot of movies. And I mean, it's supposed to be easy to read for most people, but it's just bland to me and boring. And yeah, that was the issue with computer cases being that beige gray color. Yeah, nowadays you get all these cool colors and it's nice. Google Play Store. Oh, Play. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, I get what you're saying about icons. Yeah, there was back when OS 9 was popular, and even OS 8 on the Mac. I used to spend some time trying to play with customized icons, because there's a little program you can use for that kind of stuff and create your own customized icons. That's fun. Takes time consuming, but it's fun. Excuse me. All right, let's see. So, survey time. How fair or unfair are YouTube's recommendation systems? For example, your videos being recommended on homepage, suggested, or up next. Extremely unfair. That should be on everyone's homepage. Rate your agreement or disagreement. Recommendations on YouTube focus on helping viewers find videos they're most likely to watch. I'm going to say slightly disagree. I guess I'm way out of left field sometimes. It's like, what? How is this relevant? Rate your agreement or disagreement. YouTube is the best place to build an audience. There are a lot of platforms, but I think, strange as that may sound, I think TikTok is the leader now. You've got lots of short clips, so it appeals to the short attention span. And you see huge jumps in followers because it's so easy to follow people. Tell us more about your experience regarding your ability to reach an audience. Half the time or more, it feels like I'm being shadow banned. Many times throughout the year, YouTube removes subs. People who are subbed to channels are suddenly and abrupt. Well, I guess it's the same thing, but I'll say it anyway. Unsubbed. If you've been subbed to a channel for years, it's now common to find yourself unsubbed from them. And that impacts your ability to reach monetization. The algorithm is funky because I now get recommended videos from channels I'm subbed and sometimes not subbed to from 1 to 3 years ago. Huh. Notifications rarely function anymore. Oh, right. And when they do, they are not timely. I'll get notifications 1 or 2 or more hours after the stream has ended. Sometimes I won't even get notifications at all. What's the point of enabling notifications if you won't? Your platform won't notify. Unload up, pick it up, Nick. Unload up, pick it up, Nick. On look at Nick, Nickelodeon. Okay, I think that's decent. Following questions relate to YouTube's tools for publishing, monitoring, and managing your content. How influential is YouTube analytics to the decisions you make to grow your channel? I'll say slightly. I use a combination of Social Blade, YouTube Analytics, and what fellow YouTubers say. So I'll say slightly. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with YouTube Analytics when you want to understand your content's performance? Somewhat dissatisfied. How easy or difficult is it to use YouTube Studio? Somewhat difficult. There are some things that are pretty easy, but others that aren't. Yeah, I'll put it in the middle. How well do you understand your content's performance? I'll say slightly. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with YouTube's tools to grow your presence? Somewhat dissatisfied. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with YouTube's tools for getting content onto YouTube? Uploading a video, going live, changing metadata. I mean, generally speaking, I don't have too much trouble with this kind of stuff. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with YouTube's tools for managing your community? Moderating comments, reading and responding to comments. Somewhat dissatisfied. I think they could do better in that area. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with YouTube's tools for managing your content? Resolving issues, bulk updating videos, adding editing cards and end screens. Somewhat dissatisfied. The clip and blur functions are very difficult to use. I'd like more control and to be able to zoom in and focus specifically. Needs to be clipped or blurred. I'd also prefer if both functions were available in the same screen instead of being separate. Whenever I try and enable a blur, it keeps zooming me in and out at the wrong times, and keeps changing the length of the blur from what I initially set it to. bulk updating videos needs a little more work and the ability to easily move videos from one, what are they called? Playlist, I think, to another. And rename. Ooh, I just passed 1 hour, 11 minutes, 16 seconds. Almost hit 11111. That would have been cool. Let's see here. The following questions relate to YouTube support and educational resources. For example, email and chat responses at Team YouTube, Help Center. Oh, I guess it's at Team YouTube I was referring to on Twitter. How easy or difficult is it to find a solution through YouTube's resources when you have an issue or question? Extremely difficult. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with getting help or education from the YouTube Help Center? Very dissatisfied. It gives you, it's informational to some extent, but then just as with any FAQ and Help Center, you know, half the time or more, you don't find the answer to your question. It just keeps you leading down this bread trail. How satisfied are you or dissatisfied are you with getting help or education from the YouTube Creators channel? Official YouTube channel for updates, news, and education. I've never used it. I think I visited it once or twice, but I personally never used it. How satisfied or are you dissatisfied are you with getting help or education from Team YouTube or Twitter? I'll say let's go with very dissatisfied. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with getting help or education from the YouTube Help Community Forum? Never tried. I used to be big into forums when I was in my early IT career, but I use them less and less. Let me see here. Twitter help can be useful at times, but sometimes staff won't respond more than once. That is, they won't follow up to confirm resolution. I asked them for assistance with the copy. No. Excuse me. Community guideline. Right. warning, but they never responded. Beyond that, as I recall, they asked for more info. They replied they'd look into it, and then nothing but silence. And when I asked them why one of my videos was removed or stroke stricken, hit with why it was removed wrongly. Copyright strike. They always drop me the link to YouTube's general. It's never enough to answer the question. I'm looking to find an answer as to how you feel it violates your terms, conditions, policy, what have you. I never get an answer. Though I used to use forums, I haven't used them in over 7 years. Dear YouTube, the survey is taking too long. Oh man, hell yeah. Oh, I'm back. It's claiming I have an unstable network connection, even though I've got a 400 megabit per second service and a new router and a hub and gigabit Ethernet connectivity. It's claiming I don't have a valid signal. Oh man, yeah, their policy is so vague and all over the place. Hashtag what have you. F. Yeah, I was about to type something in chat saying, I'm still here. I'm just experiencing unstable internet connection. Surprise look. Yeah, back. Yep. Yeah, at most at least with my experience in StreamYards, at most I'll have to reboot the computer or the phone if I have StreamYards issues. Excuse me. Oh man, what would be kind of funny if I said, why are you even sending me the survey at all? Google already tracks every one of my movements and listens to everything I say. Maybe I should do that. That would be funny. The following questions relate to the opportunity to make money on YouTube. For example, eligibility, advertising, paid memberships, selling merchandise, making money off platform. How easy or difficult is it to understand how to make money on YouTube? Extremely difficult. To what extent do you support yourself financially through your activity on YouTube? Can it include revenue directly from YouTube, like ads or memberships, or indirectly from your activity on YouTube, like brand deals? Not at all. I do not make any money through my activity. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with requirements to become eligible to make money on YouTube? Let's see, vary. So last I checked, which was a day or two ago, the minimum requirements. Oh, you know what? I can just look. So 307. I'm at 374 subs. You need 1,000 subs minimum. Then it says 4,000 public watch hours in the last 12 months. For the last 12 months. That's the trick. So that means you can, I've been at it for nearly 2 years. And so it's ignoring everything 12 months ago back. Otherwise, I would have met that requirement. The subs, not so much. So 4,000 public watch hours in the last 12 months. Only what counts as public watch hours? Only valid watch hours. Only valid watch hours from currently public videos count towards YouTube Partner Program eligibility. Videos played from the Stories and Short Videos shelf or as part of ad campaigns are not included for your YPP eligibility. Last updated July 17th, 2021. Well, true that. Why take 30%? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with channel membership on your channel? Oh, notice how there's no freeform text field? Anytime it comes to money, no freeform text field. Let me make a note, though, to myself. Ask about money, 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 money. Yeah, you don't create, the platform is already in place, so that upfront cost is not factored in. Yes, there's maintenance, but you don't create the original content or license it to the creators or from the creators. Uh, oh man, I already forgot what I thought was going to be something funny to say. Lol. Why no text field? That's another good one. Unless it's on the next page. Yeah, there was that other thing I was saying. You know what would be funny if I said this and this, and I already forgot what that was. Boo. Uh, why no text field on any of the questions regarding money or monetization? Why no freeform text field? Why aren't you paying us in Bitcoin? Let's see. How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with the channel memberships? Channel memberships on your channel, e.g., benefits, resources, effort, revenue. I don't have any. Do not have active channel membership. That doesn't apply to me because I'm not monetized. You stated you are somewhat dissatisfied with YouTube as a place for video creators. Below are questions you responded to negatively earlier in the survey. Which of the following had the largest negative impact on your overall satisfaction with YouTube? This might be more challenging. How confident are you that you can avoid policy violations? How likely or unlikely is YouTube to correct a policy mistake if you appeal? How satisfied or dissatisfied are you with the timeliness? Like, how many do they want? Just one? Which of the following had the largest negative impact? What if it's all equal? What if it's all of the above? Tools for managing, tools for content, tools for managing community, YouTube analytics, education from YouTube, or YouTube help, Twitter help, or timeliness of communications, mistake, policy. Maybe the policy violations. You know what? Can I do you think this will be a freeform text field if I choose other? Do you think it'll open up a freeform text field? With a screenshot. That'd be funny. They probably won't enable including an attachment though. Well, how many of these will you get after so many dissatisfieds? Oof. Yeah. I'll get some more strikes against my channel or warnings against my channel for not cooperating with their survey. Yeah, let's try other and see what happens. whether it just leaves it as other or if it gives me room to put something. All right, so it did deselect the other one. So they were only looking for one answer. All right, no freeform text field. Following questions relate to the overall YouTube platform. Rate your agreement or disagreement. YouTube cares about me as a creator. Strongly disagree. They don't care about creators, especially small ones. How fair or unfair does YouTube treat creators of all identities, e.g., all genders, sexual orientations, ethnicities, nationalities, etc.? Extremely unfair. They are anti-white Caucasian. Anti-Caucasian. How free are you to express yourself on YouTube? Slightly free, because my channel is still up. How fun it is to be a YouTube creator? Moderately fun. It would be more fun if we could understand the rules and guidelines, and if we weren't getting struck for every little thing, and if we were allowed to, make use of the, replaying video in good faith for watch-alongs and stuff like that. How likely or unlikely are you to stop creating or create significantly less content on YouTube? How likely or unlikely? I mean, this very moment, I plan on continuing, but as the other social media platforms like Rumble take more and more of my time, I'll be doing less on YouTube, I think. How likely or unlikely to stop? Right. I could either be on the fence or I might go somewhat unlikely. I'll choose the middle ground, the fence, and let them interpret it how they like. How likely or unlikely are you to create significantly more content on platforms other than YouTube in the next 6 months? Oh, all right, that's easy. Extremely likely. How likely or unlikely are you to create significantly more content on other platforms? On platforms other than YouTube in the next 6 months? Yeah, extremely likely. Yep. I think that's a trend for everyone. What is your primary motivation for creating content on your main YouTube channel today? We understand multiple motivations may play a role. However, select the one that best describes your motivation today. Educate people, share my passion, build a business on or off YouTube, entertain, other, all of the above. The following question consists of pairs of contrasting motivations for creating content on YouTube. Circles between the statements represent gradations between the opposites. You can express the importance of each statement by ticking the circle that most closely reflects your motivation. Support myself and others financially versus share my interests and passions with others. Well, right now, this doesn't make any sense because I'm not monetized. And anything I do get is not enough to live off, to make a living off. Teach people who view my videos. Entertain people who view my videos. I like to teach, but it's mostly entertainment purposes. So let's go with that. What other platforms are you considering to create more content, videos, photos, live sessions with, etc. on? Oh, you mean so you can target them and try and obliterate them or buy them out? Yeah. No, they're cheap. What other platforms are you considering? Where's the option for when you like to know? Oh, that's Instagram TV. Okay. Instagram, Facebook. What the hell is Facebook Watch? TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, my own website. Most everything above. What other platforms do you currently create content, videos, photos, live sessions, etc. on the intent to grow an audience? Other social media platforms. They would love you to have that one. I only use YouTube. I only use YouTube. YouTube is the one for me. Thank you for your feedback. The following questions relate to your experience completing the survey. Overall, how easy or difficult was it to complete this survey? Somewhat difficult because there weren't enough freeform text fields. Overall, how well did the questions in the survey cover your experience as a YouTube creator? Yeah, slightly well, I guess. Thank you for taking the time to complete this survey. I thought they were going to, even though they weren't going to make it public or share it, I thought they were going to, a lot of surveys ask for stupid stats like what's your income, what is the highest degree you've earned, are you Hispanic or Latino, are you, what's your age, what's your income. Yeah. All right. So we are done. Dun, 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 dun. Uh-oh. What's going on? That's weird. There was while I was on the other tab, there was a flashing, pulsing icon in the tab that had my StreamYards in it. That's odd. All right. Yeah. So concludes this survey. Yay! Cheering party. Party. Hooray! We are done. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on this out of the ordinary stream. I just thought it might be kind of fun seeing what YouTube's wondering about this time. I wish I had an opportunity still to put in a freeform text field, those other comments we were going to add, and also an opportunity to wait. There was something else I meant to say, but it escapes me. So thank you all for hanging out. Please like, comment, subscribe. We're getting there a little bit closer to 1,000 subs. I'm at 374. So working towards 375. I should do I've been meaning to do, maybe it'll have to be next weekend, I've been meaning to do something like a 374 subs celebration. Maybe I'll drink a little bit of alcohol or something. And yeah, and find some funny stuff on the internet, some articles and whatnot. All right, so like, comment, subscribe, mark the bell for notifications. Every little bit helps. Thanks for everyone in chat for joining me, and thanks especially to Daniel for hanging in till the very end. And I shall see you on the next stream. Take it easy, y'all. Bye.
Final guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sameti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.